am your life coach. I wanted to come on and to bring this topic about mistakes and failures because we all make mistakes. We are human beings. There's not one person that does not err or make mistakes. We're all sinners. But at the end of the day, it's very important for us to have the right mindset and the right focus when we talk about our lives. Now, today's topic is you didn't lose, you're learning. Everything is about the perspective, the outlook, the way you allow your mind to look at things, how you allow yourself to focus on things, because what you focus on is where your mind is going to reside. So if you look at things with a negative connotation, if you look at things as I failed, I lost, then it's just not a good way to look at things. Hey, realist, how are you doing? But that's not the way that we want to look at things. Today, I wanted to give the mindset shift that you didn't lose, you're learning. And I grew up with that kind of, I wouldn't say it was negative, but kind of as the glass as half empty instead of looking at things as the glass half full. Whether it's a relationship breaking up, whether it's maybe you made a poor decision, maybe your behavior wasn't the right way, maybe you didn't make the best decision for yourself, whatever the situation was, that you didn't make the best decision, didn't have the best behavior, didn't make the right choices. It's always about how you choose to look at it. Was it something that is a life lesson? Is it something that's going to help you to learn? See, at the end of the day, you're not losing, you're learning, you're growing, and it's a part of our personal growth and development. Also, our maturity to allow ourselves to say, you know what? I do make mistakes. I don't always make the best choices. And no, I'm not perfect, and that's okay. And why that is important is because if you always look at it that you have to do things perfectly, if you always look at it that you can never make a mistake or that everybody else does right and you do wrong, you set yourself up for failure. And that's not what we want, Motivators family. We can't get to our goals in life. We can't achieve the things that we deserve if we don't understand that we're not always going to make the best decision. We're not always going to do right. We're not always going to have the right behavior. Yes, there are times where maybe someone lied to you. Maybe you didn't pay attention to, discernment and really pay attention to the energy, maybe like you should have. But at the end of the day, it's okay. Hey, Love and Live Show, how are you doing? Welcome. Thanks so much for coming in. Hope everybody's having an amazing Tuesday. And I just wanted to remind you all of that it's okay if I make mistakes. It's okay if I fall down. It's okay if I didn't choose the right thing for me. See, life is about learning and growing and, you know, elevating from that. If we don't go through things and sometimes make poor decisions, sometimes choose the wrong things, or maybe our reaction wasn't the best way, maybe it wasn't positive, maybe we reacted in anger or we allowed our emotions to control things. But in reality, it's all right because you didn't fail, You didn't lose. You're learning, you're growing. And if we don't go through certain situations and deal with certain people of different personalities, then we wouldn't be able to sometimes get in touch with maybe our passion. Certain things in life happen to us in order for us to look at it and you say, you know what? Maybe that wasn't even meant to be for me. Thank you so much, Love and Live Show. I really appreciate your super sticker. Thank you so much. And I know for myself, if I don't go through certain situations, if I don't fail, if I don't, make a bad decision, if I didn't go through certain things where I went through this and somebody maybe mistreated me, would I be able to look at my life and say, I deserve better? Or, you know what? I need to learn to relax. Or why am I not controlling my anger or my issues? Or maybe I need to talk to somebody about it. Maybe I need to seek a therapist and a counselor, get some spiritual support. Or maybe I have not been treating myself the way that I should and I'm too stressed out and overwhelmed. And maybe I need to learn to delegate and stop trying to control the situation and micromanage. Yeah, that's something that I know I had to learn that part, that I don't always have to have the situation the way I want it to be, that some things are beyond my control. Some things are just not meant to be for me, and that's okay. Some people aren't meant to be for me, and that's okay. See, we learn things, motivators family, when we make mistakes. But it doesn't mean we're bad people. Love and Live Show says we all need to get rest and to speak positively to ourselves. Yes, and that's something that we all have to learn, right? And I know for myself, as I'm getting older, as we age, as we grow, as we mature, as we heal from the past and traumas, or when people treat us a certain way, we learn things. We learn that we deserve better. We learn that we can do better. We learn that we need to keep trying and to not give up so easily. So there's always a lesson. There's always a possibility, and possibilities are endless for us. And I want you to remind yourself of that as well, Motivators family, that better is coming for me and I deserve better and I should try and not give up, because the most of us, when you hit a roadblock, or when someone says or does something to you, or someone backstabs you, or you're dealing with a certain trial that you weren't expecting, you never saw it coming, but then it happens, it really shows how much drive you have in you, how much fight you have in you. Hey, Real Odds and Evens, how are you doing? Welcome. It really shows how much fight you have in yourself, how much you have a drive and a desire to have certain things, because I had to learn that part. If I'm not willing to fight harder, fight stronger, learn something, grow, gain the knowledge, then maybe that's not even meant to be for me. See, sometimes we think we want something or need something, but it's because we see somebody else having it and we want to have what others have. See, what is meant to be for one person may not be for you. See, you don't know what a person may have done in order to get what they have. See, you have to be willing to not try to take shortcuts or do some cutthroat, grimy things that I had to learn that too. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I did some things and try to cut corners or try to think that I deserve certain things, but I know for sure I wasn't putting in the work. I know I wasn't giving it my best. I know that I saw some things coming. I saw some red flags, but I ignored it, right? But that's the thing about personal growth and development motivators, family. And it's such a beautiful thing when you look at yourself and you can be accountable. Okay, my behavior was not the best way. I should have done more research. I saw the red flags. I knew I couldn't afford that. I knew this person wasn't good for me. See, all of that helps us in the future with future relationships, with how maybe in the next situation that you get into, maybe you're going to learn to discern. You're going to pay attention to the energy. You're going to think before you speak. See, that is about elevation, motivators family, personal growth. It's not pointing the fingers and blaming your sister, mama, cousin, your coworker, this person and that person. You're able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? You need to stop doing that. Or it may be time for you. You need to get up and do X, Y, and Z. You know you can do better. You know you're more talented than that. It's looking at yourself and saying, I'm not going to settle. I'm going to take ownership of when I make a poor decision, and I'm going to apologize when I offend other people. See, that's personal growth, and that's something that sometimes we don't get it because we don't think, oh, that person's being too sensitive, or that doesn't even matter. But if somebody is telling you that your behavior, your attitude, the way you treat them, you know, how you're showing up is offensive, you really need to take a look at that. Because a mature person will say, you know what, maybe I was rude. Maybe that was insensitive. Maybe I should not have said that. See, we can't expect for others to walk on eggshells around us and think that our being rude or being blunt is gives us the right to say anything we want to say. No, it doesn't work that way. If you want others to treat you with respect, you also need to treat others with respect. Yes, we need to figure out what is best for ourselves and not for others. Yes, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with looking at yourself and saying, I need this, I deserve this, or this offends me. You know, I always say this all the time, know how you feel and stand in that. You don't have to feel how other people feel. There's certain things based on our personality, our past, and so on and so forth that leads us to feel a certain way about things, and that's okay. Everybody may not like it, but do you like it? How does it make you feel? Know how you feel and be grounded in that. But at the same time, it doesn't give us a reason to be harsh and blunt and rude and just say other people are sensitive. No, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? That was rude. That was unkind. That was not sensitive. You have to learn to put yourself in another person's shoes. How would I feel if I was on the other end of that? How would I feel if I got that blowback, that blowout, that how I just treated somebody? How would that make me feel? See, that's maturity, personal growth, and development. See, we have to be more than just grown and mature. We should be understanding and compassionate to others. I don't mean you just give that to everybody willy-nilly. I mean that for the most part, you try to be good to others. You try to be kind, but not letting people run over you like a doormat. You know when to cut the cord. You know when enough is enough, okay? Kindness, it does not allow us to just say, I'm going to let people use and abuse me. See, that is growing. That is learning. That's maturity. See, we have to do more than just be an adult. Anybody could be from 18, 21 and up. but it's what you do with your experiences, what you do with that knowledge. And do you learn a lesson? Are you growing from it? Or do you just keep repeating the same cycle? Do you keep letting people backstab you, use you, and abuse you, manipulate you, play games with your heart? Or do you learn from that? Do you grow from that? Do you take accountability and say, you know what? I allowed this, this, and this, and that's not good. Okay? So, just a short and sweet topic that I wanted to bring you all today. I hope that this message resonated with somebody and somebody can heal and grow from it, learn, because this channel is all about not just staying in the same space, not being stagnant, but learning to grow, learning to heal, being mature, pushing the envelope, getting outside of your comfort zone and not just saying, oh, I'm just going to do this because it's comfortable. No, I'm going to step outside of the box. I'm going to learn the lessons. I'm going to pay attention to what other people did and not jump in front of a train wreck, but learn from other people. You don't have to experience something to learn and grow from it. You're going to say, oh, I'm not going to do that. Or that wasn't a wise decision. Elevate, empower your mind, heal, grow, make better decisions, be wise. That is what it is to be empowered, motivated, and love yourself. Yes, love thyself. Know your personal worth. Know that you are enough. Grow from it. Learn the lesson and then do better. Then be better. Then grow. Be a good role model. Be a good example. See, it's not enough to just be an adult. Let's be a mature adult. Let's be a role model. Let's be kind. Be willing to give to others when it is in the power of your hand to help another person. See, you never know what another person is going through. So being kind is always in season. And also for us too. We have to learn to be kind and compassionate to ourselves and not let people run over us and take advantage of us. That is self-love. That is having self-worth. That means valuing yourself and being your own best friend. You don't need another person to say, I should be treated this way. You have to encourage yourself, empower your own mind, and you got to speak over your life and say, I deserve the best because I treat myself the best. I am highly favored and I am enough. Thank you all so much for tapping in for today's topic and motivation. I hope it reaches somebody that needs to hear it. And I hope that it gets you to think in your solo time for some meditation and ask yourself, how am I treating myself? Am I learning lessons? Am I growing or am I staying stagnant? And if you are, what are you going to do about it? I'm Marlene Motivates. I am your life coach. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're here live, make sure you tap that like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And if you're listening in the replay, make sure you leave me a comment below and let me know your thoughts and your opinions. I love to hear your feedback. Shout out to all of my mods. Shout out to the channel members. I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure you check out my mods in blue because they're all amazing. And we're going to leave you with this note from Love and Live Show. That is a great way to look at things. Put yourself in others' shoes. Yes. Elevation and personal growth. Thank you all so much. Everybody have a great rest of your Monday evening. And I will see you all on the next one.